Hi there, Internet Associate. It's Anthony, and I'm about to watch another episode of Lucifer. So this is Season 3, Episode 13, Till Death Do Us Part. Now, you know how Netflix does. Netflix is gonna Netflix. They always show that little thumbnail when you click on it or, as it's loading up. So it showed me a screenshot of the episode. So it looks like it's gonna be Lucifer and Cain, aka Pierce, that are going to be getting married or something, which is what I would, infer from the title being Till Death Do Us Part. From the thumbnail, that's what it looked like was going on because Lucifer was leaning on Cain. So maybe it's going to be like a thing where they're getting married that in some type of way that could plausibly lead to Cain's death. I have no idea what the relation could be or how that could lead to that. But I mean, till death do us part. That's where that makes my mind go. And I know that Cain's goal is to die. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating happening this episode. Or maybe it'll be something completely different. But let's go ahead and get into it and just see what happens. This is Lucifer, Season 3, Episode 13, Till Death Do Us Part.
Hello, Lucifer!
Lucifer! Oh, what is this? Is he gonna kill him with a chainsaw? It's not gonna work.
Well, you are the devil. You must have something shockingly evil up your sleeve.
You mean, something like this?
Is that one of Maze's blades or whatever? Or just those blades?
Because that little bad boy
was
forged in the bowels of hell.
Right after Trixie was born.
Oh, yeah. Great public schools, really safe neighborhood. Oh, we're not.
June Lee, 34, local
Guess you're
chemist,
glad you didn't
right down the block.
make that choice.
Like wood chipper here overnight and some
Active in the community.
We just got mani-pedis together.
Sorry.
Dang. That was sad. She's holding her hand up to the dead foot. Wait, does that mani-pedi thing, is that gonna play into anything, I wonder? Or was that just meant to be kind of like a morbid, somewhat joke?
Still being.
Damn. What, he stabbed him with one of your blades?
I wish you would have told me that before I hauled all this out of the basement.
You know you liked hauling it out of the basement anyway, Maze.
Maybe I should find out what makes Pierce vulnerable. Get inside his head.
What can Pierce pierce?
Not with the cranial saw. How am I supposed to solve the mystery of how to kill you if I don't understand you first? Your strengths, your weaknesses, because everyone has a kryptonite, Lieutenant.
Are they saying that because he used to play Superman?
The Lieutenant has a lot of experience in fake deaths.
You must mean because I came up through missing persons in Chicago.
Oh, great. We could really use your experience on this then.
Yes, I too would love to learn everything about your experience.
I would be interested in hearing more about, how he's managed to be around all this time without arousing suspicion. I guess he's just constantly faking his death and then showing up somewhere else and just not, managing not to be recognized. It's very interesting.
recipes for synthetic chemical compounds, all filed under the label K-pop. It's a kind of music, right?
Poor Daniel, so behind the times. K-pop is a kind of ecstasy. It's one of the best kinds, actually.
Oh, Lucifer is ahead of the times.
Wait, what is that? You smell that?
Axe body spray.
What? Calm down, man. This guy. Never say Axe body spray like that.
Do I know you?
What is she smelling on her? Is it like...
You smell incredible. Be back.
I'm trying to think, what could she be smelling on her? Is it some type of remnant of the goddess? Or is it like humanity coming back to her? Like, what could...
Plan to do a gang takedown?
Right, is that the sort of thing the Lieutenant would get involved in?
No, Pierce will not get
Gosh.
involved until we bring him a suspect.
Which is why we should just...
Chloe, why are you such a
Skip to
stickler
that
for the
part.
rules?
Lucifer, this is a ruthless drug lord with who knows how many armed thugs. You can't just walk in there with your three-piece suit and say, "Hello, drug dealers."
I bet he can.
Do that.
Hello, drug dealers.
Young Mike-san.
Wow, he said it in another language.
You are.
In Korean, that's funny. He was right. He would never do that. This is so cool. This location and the way that they're filming it, like that angle again from the top. And no, they don't even know what's happening.
I'm only trying to help.
Help!
Was that K-pop that was just playing? I don't know.
Oh, you, the Lieutenant.
I never really heard it.
Damn it.
We are a criminal organization specializing in extortion and drug dealing.
So what is his point? That they can't actually catch them with anything? Like, why is he just straight up telling them this?
You have confessed to several felonies, and we will be arresting you.
Whatever it takes to bring Sandra's killer to justice.
Right.
Yes, of course. Nothing fishy about that. Did Lucifer scare him into doing this or something?
Cooperative arch criminal I've ever met. Did you
Really?
go to that club on your own? What did
Yeah,
you
well,
do?
I guess we did. Yeah, we knew that Lucifer talked to him. Just don't know what he did to scare him is what I mean.
In exchange for his cooperation, I gave him the formula we found on Sandra's computer. I mean, if you had money.
Exactly. You can't do that on a chemistry teacher's salary.
So, what do we think? She was...
Oh, a Lacey hard drive. Or
she
Lacey,
decided
however
to
you
dust
say it.
off her old... You're gonna break it.
Jeez, that hurt to see him do that. He didn't even take the little
client list.
cushion thing off first.
It's the welcome wagon.
Yeah, but not in the lame way. We just want to be the first to say hi to the new couple on the block.
Hey, we have guests! Right, Brian and Anya, this is Mark.
That was the thumbnail.
You realize this is just for the case.
This is my chance to really get to know you, Pierce. I'm taking it seriously, and so should you. For our cause.
Yeah, might as well go all the way. Be a
Just
method
give me your
actor.
resting Pierce face.
What face?
I'm really glad we did this, Dan. You're such a nice, normal guy.
Probably the only normal person in her life at this point. She's like, everybody else is just acting super weird. Even Dan was acting weird. But everybody else is really weird now.
Normal is...
Hard to come by. Maze!
Hey, sexy.
Did she just smell her and come all the way here?
We, killed a guy together once.
Oh, well, there goes normal.
Maze.
That just flew out the window.
The three of us. I'm sorry.
He's like,
Oh, no. No, we didn't. No, of course not. But if you wanted to,
he said, like, I am open-minded.
whatever. I have heard that it's...
Okay, Dan, just stop talking.
I've been reading this feminist social...
No, Dan, stop.
Truth is, I've been through hell lately.
Literally. More than you even know.
That's it.
She can smell the hell on her because she's been in there. That's right.
We're meant. What? God, yes. Well, I am definitely not God or normal, so.
She's like, I'm kind of on the whole other side.
You are?
I can't imagine someone so obsessed with obeying the rules of suburbia. Where do you think you're going? I cook you clean, remember?
Domesticity can have
You're
a strange
really
effect on people.
committed to
The
this.
question is now, how do we draw out this watchdog?
He's just doing everything to make the neighborhood watchdog mad. Think about the children. I think he is thinking about the children, actually. They seem to be enjoying this.
I thought this was supposed to be about you and I spending
Oh, yeah.
time together.
Arguing
No,
can
no, no.
also be annoying to the
This
neighbors.
is like catching
Y'all
a
are
killer.
loud enough.
House.
You just need
Oh,
to...
dang, they're not hearing her.
That won't solve anything.
Guys, heads up.
Their Achilles.
Chloe's just gotta do it herself.
What are you talking about?
LAPD, don't move.
She just told you, don't move, and yet you run. Where do y'all think y'all gonna run to?
Hello?
Of course.
Is that what you were doing when you killed June Lee?
What? I didn't hurt June.
You were buying her Adderall?
Yeah. Me and half the block. How do you think I had the energy to be out there?
Like-
I learned Mandarin. I built a deck around my... I lost 40 pounds.
Is this an Adderall advertisement?
Everything about you.
Me?
About to argue again?
I am doing this for you.
Oh, is Chloe gonna hear?
Yes, really. And if you're not committed, then there's no point to us even being here. I beg your
Everybody's gonna
Say you're a
hear.
man of your word. You're not.
Excuse me.
Like, well, this is awkward.
I may have overreacted. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
If I was at this party, I would think that this was all fake. I'm like, are they just trying to put on a show? First they're breaking up, now they're getting back together?
I'm not ready to give up on that.
Kiss, 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 kiss. Oh my goodness. Chloe's like,
Wow, cover officially restored.
Pierce didn't make that kiss look very believable though.
Everybody get back! Everyone get back, all right? Yeah? Get back!
Oh my gosh.
We're leaving. Thanks. It's great.
This is the most. Why did he do it one more time? Like they were all the way back there, not even doing anything. He's still just doing it at them just to scare them.
What about hedge trimmers?
This is the most dramatic, like, you know, little afternoon brunch party, whatever it's called, ever.
I saw you sneaking around with her, and then you lost all that weight. I thought I would just write her one of those notes to scare her off, but then you still kept sneaking out every night. Angry, I just shoved her, and then she
Oh my
she hit
gosh.
her head, but I didn't mean to kill her. I just didn't
Oh my
want you
goodness,
to
man.
But he wasn't having enough.
I'm sorry. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess, like, I'm sorry for you, lady. That's so sad. But these people on this show have just never heard of the concept of don't say anything until you have a lawyer or anything like that. It's like as soon as they kind of are like, oh, yeah, actually, we think it's you. They just go and break down their whole life story of why they did the murder and why they did everything. I'm like, well, now you don't stand a single chance of going free. Like, you could have at least tried to get a lawyer and maybe get out of this somehow or get in less trouble.
For you, so that I could go back to being the guy that you fell in love with in high school.
Now, how do you feel?
I didn't want you to leave me.
I'm so sorry. I doubted you.
This is why communication is key.
Neither do I.
Oh. Well, you know, it's a happy ending at the end of the day. So what? She murdered somebody. All is understood. It was just a miscommunication. Water under the bridge, if you ask me. Just leave it alone, Chloe.
Just so I know that I'm not crazy, in the surveillance van, when I asked you to stay in LA, we did have a moment there, yeah?
We did share a moment.
I like how, like, you know, straightforward Chloe is, though. She still is like, well, that did happen, though, right?
Go get the chainsaw. I thought you'd never ask.
You're just gonna kind of knew it. I wanted to see the chainsaw, man. I wanted to see Tom Welling get, you know, cut into a bunch of different little pieces. I just thought that would have been cool, but I guess not. Okay, so this was a very fun episode and possibly the best one so far in terms of seeing Lucifer and Pierce's dynamic. Lucifer and Kane's dynamic, whatever you want to call them. I mean, obviously, you know, we've seen them working together a lot so far this season in different capacities because sometimes Lucifer has just known he was Pierce and he found out he was Kane. They've had different thoughts of each other for the whole time. At the beginning of the season, they clearly didn't like each other at all, but it was really fun just seeing, you know, the way they were playing off of each other this episode and the whole undercover thing that they did. And, you know, just like, I mean, it felt like this episode, instead of the focus being on how everything relates to Lucifer or how everything relates to Lucifer and Chloe's relationship, partnership, whatever you want to call it, this was more like how does everything relate to Pierce, kind of. In turn, going back to how does it relate to Lucifer, because like Pierce said, Lucifer was so focused on figuring out, you know, how to kill him and everything this episode, and, you know, trying to figure out, you know, what would make Pierce vulnerable, which is kind of, you know, like a little bit different from Lucifer's usual MO, which is just focusing on himself. But at the end of the day, that was still kind of in turn to get, you know, to, you know, kind of rebel against his dad and be like, haha, I ruined your little joke or trick that you set up on Kane. But still, though, I felt like it made for an interesting change of pace. So Pierce admitted that he and Chloe did kind of have a moment there. And it's pretty interesting to think about how obviously Chloe has made Lucifer vulnerable because, you know, she was, you know, kind of a miracle baby and was placed in his path and all that. But it does seem like there could be a potential for her to make Kane vulnerable as well. And I guess the question right now is, how would that work? And would it be for the similar or same reasons that's why she makes Lucifer vulnerable? Or would she just not make it vulnerable at all? But it seems like, with what they were talking about at the end of the episode, Kane's biggest fear, kind of being like alone and everything. And that's the reason why he wants to die, because he knows that he can't connect with anybody because he'll be alone. It makes me wonder what would happen if Kane really did just open up to Chloe and actually they did start having some type of romantic connection. Because, I don't know. What if it's the type of... And I guess this might not completely make sense since, the Cinnamon died and everything. But, like, what if it's some type of curse where for as long as he's, not feeling any type of connection to anybody and not letting anybody in, he's constantly going to, continue to come back to life after he dies. But as soon as he does, actually love someone, that's when, that's when he actually dies. And that's almost like the punishment, because now that he's found love, now he has to die. I don't know. That might not make sense with everything that's been said so far. There might be something that already contradicts that, but I'm just trying to kind of, come up with theories and everything. But I don't know. That seems like that could be an interesting way to take it. And you never know. Maybe it's not Chloe. Maybe it's Lucifer. It didn't seem like it. Honestly, that would be kind of cool if they went that direction of having Kane and Lucifer become a thing. But it seemed like they were kind of making more of a joke out of that this episode. So I don't know. But it could be Chloe or Lucifer. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a whole ship thing out there where people are like Team Kane and Chloe, Team Pierce and Chloe, Team Kane and Lucifer, however you want to look at it. I don't know. But yeah, but maybe that could be a thing, because I have a feeling this vulnerability isn't going to stem from outside of him. I feel like it's not going to stem from a person being near him or an allergy or some type of specific type of weapon that can kill him. I feel like it has to stem from something inside of him changing, which would then break the curse and allow him to be able to die. Just totally, spitballing here. I also wonder if it's a coincidence that Chloe keeps on being drawn to these people that are not necessarily exactly human, like Lucifer and like Kane. It seems like she's continuously kind of had this happen at least twice, which is, I think, 2 times more than the average person in the world. She's sort of started to develop a connection with people that aren't actually human. And that's interesting to see. It makes you wonder, is it something about, is Chloe kind of sensing something in them, subconsciously, that makes her attracted to that aspect of them? I don't know. It just raises more questions. And it also just constantly makes me wonder, when will Chloe find out? And will the show even work anymore when Chloe knows? Because it's one of those things where in season 1, I was like, okay, well, maybe eventually Chloe will find out. That'll be interesting. Can't wait to see when she finds out and how things are going to change. But at this point, I can't even picture this show with Chloe knowing. Honestly, I cannot imagine watching Lucifer and Chloe just actually knowing that Lucifer is actually, Lucifer, and is a fallen angel and all that, and is actually the devil. It's really hard to imagine Chloe actually knowing that at this point. So, and it feels like it seems like there's so many ways for her to find out now. Kane could go and, eventually decide to try to start telling her the truth about all that, or about Lucifer. I don't know. I don't know. It's like she could mention, why? It's like she could mention something to what's her name, Charlotte, about the stepmom thing, and find out that all that was a lie from Lucifer, and also wonder why Charlotte all of a sudden doesn't remember it. I don't know. It's so much stuff here that could happen that could just all of a sudden make Chloe realize that a lot is really wrong, or that a lot is really off. And she's already seen that a lot, I'm sure. And she's just kind of explained things away in her mind. But I just wonder how much longer can she continue just explaining things away when they clearly don't make sense. And I understand it. It's human nature. I'm not saying she's dumb for doing that. But I just wonder, how much longer can it go without Chloe knowing? And how would it even work with her knowing? It's just something I think about, but who knows? Otherwise, overall fun episode. We're missing a few characters this time. No Ella, no Amenadiel, no Linda, so no Trixie, unfortunately. But everybody that was there definitely, had strong parts, and played a good role in the episode. I feel like Lucifer doesn't force characters. When a character isn't needed, they don't force them in the episode. So that's cool. They typically have everybody doing something. Like every time Charlotte's been in an episode this season, she's had some type of central, theme or idea around why she was in the episode and what she was learning in the episode. Same for, Maze and Dan. Dan oftentimes is playing double duty because he tends to seem to find himself kind of, in both worlds for some reason without even realizing it. I think because, he was with Charlotte not knowing she was a goddess, and he doesn't know what Maze really is. So it's funny watching him kind of just so much involved in things that he doesn't even realize. But yeah, I guess that'll sum up my thoughts for this episode. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about it. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. And head on over to Patreon for the full uncut reaction to Lucifer, weeks ahead of the YouTube schedule. Until next time, I'll see you all later.